Now, some much needed good news for football fans now. More than 2 months after its last official game, Germany's Bundesliga is back. Borussia Dortmund are playing Schalke this afternoon. There are no fans in the stadium. Physical contact will be kept to a minimum and referees have their masks on. Millions are expected to tune in to see the first major sports action in Europe since the coronavirus lockdown began. Well, Andy Wales is the Bundesliga correspondent for World Football Index. He joins us now from the UK. Thanks for being with us. You must be overjoyed to see the players back on the pitch this Saturday. Football fans have had a really long wait for this, haven't they?
Good afternoon. Yeah, they certainly have had a long wait, and I should be overjoyed, but I'll be honest, I'm a little torn because of the whole situation. It's great to see football, but I guess with the pandemic still ongoing as it is throughout Europe, it's difficult to kind of take it all in and feel a sense of normality about this.
Do you think it's too soon for the players to be back on the pitch?
It's a difficult one. Certainly the opinion is divided in Germany. Over the past few weeks, opinion polls held by broadcasters in Germany have gone from being slightly in favour of a return to now being against a return as yet. I guess time will be the only thing, the real proving thing here as to how this actually turns out. In terms of the positive tests and whatnot, and just how it all goes on. It's that feeling of being somewhat torn between elated that football is back, but the whole scenario and uncertainty and uncomfortableness from the amount of testing and the measures that have to be put in place. And I guess the way that we just become so used to seeing social distancing, that we're seeing footballers, close to each other and interacting and alongside each other on the pitch. I guess it's just that social thing that we've all become very accustomed to that makes it feel unusual.
Right, it's certainly hard to keep social distancing measures in place when you're trying to tackle your opponent, I imagine. Yes. Why do you think the German league in particular then went ahead? Of course, the English Premier League, they're not resuming matches anytime soon. Same story here in France. Why do you think it was the Germans that went ahead with this first?
Well, I guess underlying there's the situation that they are in nationally in terms of the pandemic and the progress that they made and where they stand dictates the fact that they are actually allowed to return. I mean, the German Football League, the DFL, the Deutsche Fußballliga, put together a proposition that had to be ratified by the German government in order for them to actually return. But let's make no bones about it. The real thing that's driving this is the financial situation. I mean, 13 of the 36 Bundesliga clubs from Bundesliga 1 and Bundesliga 2, Germany's top two divisions, were potentially facing insolvency this summer without their final broadcasting rights payment. So finances are very much a driving force in the fact that football is back already in Germany.
Right, and we have heard, of course, about some of those smaller clubs going bust altogether because of the lockdown measures in place. I mean, football, like everything else, is going to have to adapt, isn't it, to the new way of life post-coronavirus. What kind of permanent changes do you expect to see in the sport?
Very difficult to say. I think what we can maybe sort of look at more permanently will be just how this progresses in Germany. They're very much, if you could say, the guinea pigs of football going forward, a professional sport going forward in this coronavirus era. There's been extensive testing. There has been some players and staff officials tested positive. Players have got to test negative twice consecutively in order to be allowed to take part. We obviously there's no fans in attendance. Very strict measures of who's allowed actually in the stadium in terms of players, staff, officials, medical people, some ball boys and broadcasters, but very, very strict numbers. Social distancing in place. No handshakes, no photographs, no goal celebrations. Masks being worn on the bench. It's I guess it's an indication of what we can expect going forward until we get through the other side of it. But again, what Germany is finding its footsteps here, and I think it's going to be the case that every other league is going to be watching very closely, and the German Football League president has indicated that they are very much willing to share their findings and share their learnings through all of this with many other leagues and other sports, as everybody kind of works collaboratively to try and find a way through this.
Absolutely. Changing times indeed. Andy Wales, great to talk to you. Thank you very much indeed.
Many thanks.